All right, welcome to me tier listing my own music for 2024. A very not that consistent month. Mental illness is a motherfucker, but I'm here and I am also proud to announce I'm putting the juice roll down. I have a lot of interesting new styles and types of songs that are coming out soon, so be on the lookout. And I'm hoping that 2025 can be me finally stepping out of my comfort zone and me leveling up my music quality as well as broadening my horizon of styles of music I'm doing. But first, we got Zenitsu. Not even really a Zenitsu song. It just was a Zenitsu AMV, so people will click it because if I make a song about me, no one's gonna give a fuck. So Zenitsu for me has a special place in my heart because this was a song I made to my friend Rap Roasted, talking about how I feel like I am dragging him down and stopping him from succeeding and getting further into music than I feel like he could. And I always feel like that is my fault. And I feel like I'm always dragging him into a bunch of issues and just being a heavy burden on him. And this is also one of the fastest songs I've ever done. I think I had found the beat, and once I found the beat, I wrote like some of it, but mainly freestyled it and recorded, slapped some presets on it, AMV'd it in like 3 hours. So for the short amount of time that it took me, I'm actually really proud of how it came out. You with me while I fall. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking with the backing vocals on this. I forgot I was kind of cooking on the backing vocals. I can't lie. I hope you know I wanted us to just stay close. That's always one thing when I actually just remember. That's one thing I hate about this song is I fucked up the delivery and I didn't go back and change it because I was like, fuck it. And I'm so mad at myself for doing that. This year, I have had an issue with that. I'll be like, oh, there's like one little mess up on this take, or like there's one little issue right here. I'll just be like, I don't care. I'm mad at the song right now, or I just need to get a song out, and I kept it in. And that's one thing I'm definitely going to change because I'm realizing that's hurting me a lot more than I think it is, you know? So for now, I'll stick with you. I'll have something, and sometimes people will be like, "Yeah, I can kind of tell you freestyled that." So I'm hoping that this isn't one of those cases, but I think with this stanza right here, like I think it's you can kind of tell. See, I feel like it's B, but I don't know if I can bump it up because it's a song that means a lot to me. Like it's one of those few songs where like it has a lot of meaning to me and it holds a special place in my heart. So I don't know if that's like bias enough for it to be like cool to put in A or not. Cause I low key want to, but I feel like realistically speaking, it's a B. So for the first song of the year, surprisingly, because I didn't know that until like just like a couple minutes ago. we got Zenitsu with B. Next up, we got Desert Queen. Oh boy. So the funny thing about Desert Queen is I I did this a few times. I don't remember on every song I did, but this is one of them where I was heavily inspired by Rap Roasted. He had used Zach Sutton on one of his like most recent songs at the time, and I was like, okay, I got to use this producer. So I found this beat and I liked it, and I didn't know what character to write for. So I'd asked a friend, Candy, and I was like, "Oh, I think it like would fit a Bleach character, but which one?" And I gave him a few options. He was saying maybe no. So I was doing the song and everything, and I think about like halfway through, I was like, "Yo, do you want to hop on?" Because it's a song in a day, and that's something I would do a lot. I was like, "Yo, I need to get something out today, and you think you can help me out and do a verse on it?" And boom, that's how Candy got on it, and this part of the AMV pissed me off because I swear when I was editing it, it didn't look like that. And then like I obviously looked over it before I exported it and everything was fine. But when I exported it, it looked like that, and I didn't know till after I released. And I wasn't gonna take it down because I was too tired because I had just did the entire fucking song from start that day. So I'm like, I'm not gonna bother to just take it down or anything. But every time I ever go back to this song, which is very, 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 very rare because I'm not a huge fan of the song, it ticks me off every time I see it. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. I love this delivery though. I forgot about that. My verse I think is very, very not good. Like it's very bad because delivery wise, it's not really that good. Mix wise, it's not that good. Lyric wise, it's not that good. But at least the flow part on this stanza, to me, I fuck with. Like, still a kind of a mixing issue for me, but like, they ain't task me with three, the band it then and me. Like, I fuck with that. I don't know about y'all. Fuck with the spot of three. So cut it up. You fuck with the. And same thing with Zenitsu. I love the backings. I don't know. I think I'm great with backings. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm glazing myself or not, but like the backings on this are really fucking good. Don't get it twisted just cause I've been boasting daily with the blade. Don't forget I'm a sword. So cut it up. Yeah, Candy kind of outshined me on the verse. So let's just skip over that so I don't have to talk about it. So I had the hook come in again. And then there was this empty space, and I'm not gonna get mad at Candy or whatever. Like to me, it's not that big of a deal. But I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. I was thinking like, should I just have the backings play? Should I just add a couple lines or something, or should I just like cut it out and just make the song like a minute? I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. And I had the little beat cuts because I was like, thinking about some stuff to do. So I added the beat cuts and I was thinking like, okay, maybe I can just write something for it. And Candy was like, no, I think it's fine how it is, like with just those little beat cuts and everything. And then like a few people have told me, like, people would just click off by then. Like there's no reason to stay or anything. And I really like the last hook. So I feel like this bridge kind of ruins the song a bit. But I think that the outro hook kind of picks up for it. But a lot of people most likely have not seen it because they most likely clicked off of here and just assumed it was a long ass outro. But I fuck with Candy's backings on this. I remember I had asked him to do some backings on it because I was like, it's the final hook. I want to do something different. I don't want to hit up anybody else for it. So I was like, yo, can you just add some backings to it? He did. And I really fuck with it. I think like this hook is like, it's pretty cool. So it's not like a horrible song. It's definitely not my worst. I'm putting Nelly L in C tier. Falling Deep. Falling Deep is a original for an EP that is still coming out. I promise you it's coming out. I remember when I announced this. This is a single for my mixtape, Scars Left Unhealed. That is no longer the title, and it hasn't been forever. Like this EP was supposed to be like Coldest Summer, but for some reason it's taken forever. Like I've written dozens of songs for it and trashed them all. But I can say this. You're getting an announcement for it very soon. But here we are with one of my favorite songs I've ever made, Falling Deep with Linares. Short and sweet. There's two issues I have with the song. One of them I'm not going to knock away from my tier. One of them hurts it a bit, but I don't think enough to move it from where I'm putting it. Frost, you are right. The mix did make me kind of quiet. If I turned my vocals up a bit, I think the song would be damn near perfect. My only other issue was with Lunaris, but kind of my fault because I didn't specify. The song was supposed to be about just issues in general, and he kind of only made it about like a breakup. So it's kind of a little off topic in the second half, but I still think his performance was good enough to make me not really care too much. I think this is in my top 3 best songs. Like even outside of just this gear, I would still put this in like top 5. This is a song I go back, like one of the few songs I actually go back and actually listen to. But for me, I just gotta put S. I'm sorry. Like I still think this is top 3 out of 2024, top 5 of all time. Uraraka. I have an issue with this song. but I think it's an issue that is wrong. Like I have told people my issue with this song, and they said that's not an issue. That's my issue with it. It's the ups. Like I don't know. Whenever it gets to that third one, to me it sounds cringy as fuck. I don't know. It just sounds so weird. I like the song though. Like I think I was hitting those notes. I think I was doing pretty good. I think it's catchy as fuck. And what is that sitting 1.2? Like so a few other people agree, but like I don't know, the up to me sounds a little cringy. I like the verse. Like I think the first two line delivery was kind of but I think like the rest of the verse I really like. This section, I don't like that stanza. Like I don't do anything special. This was another like it was like 3 in the morning and I was bored. So I just made a song cuz I do that sometimes. And this is what I came up with. I am going to put Uraraka in A tier. I think that if the first quarter of my verse was just better delivered and flowed, it would be S tier for me. But I think that kind of knocks it down a bit. Next up, My Eyes, Ken Kaneki, Tokyo Ghoul. This song is it holds a lot of memories for me because your boy Yazi, the person who helped me, our song is my cousin. He stayed at my place for a while and I convinced him to do something nerdcore and we found the beat, decided the character and everything and just writing the song and everything was just really funny and cool. And I remember it was another song in a day that we did because we started it in the middle-ish day and I remember I was tired as fuck. Tired as fuck. Making this AMV super fucking late. Tired. And my cousin kept like trying to keep me up so I can finish the AMV for it while he was playing the game. It was so funny. That's one of them. Like it was supposed to be I'm hollow, I'm split, two sides, no reside, hollow, I'm split. There was not even supposed to be an I'm and people was like, "Oh, I saw that you tried to cut out the I'm." And I'm like, "I didn't." Like that was just a random thing that happened on the mix and I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't figure out what was making it sound like that and I gave up. I just said fuck it. Cuz I was like maybe people won't notice it enough or care enough, but no, people kept picking that out and I'm just like fuck. Okay. Another thing I don't like is the mixing. The frequencies are kind of crazy. I needed to turn that shit down. And that's a problem apparently I have with a lot of my songs, according to a couple people. I think like those are the only issues I had with the hook. That's another thing too. The backings, Kalo fucking hated the backings on Yazi's verse. But I remember with the singing part, I had to help write it. So I wrote like most of the singing part because he didn't know how to write for a singing part. And I'm like, it's not that different. And it was his first time singing. So there was only so much I can do. And again, this was a song in a day type shit. So I was rushing the fuck out of it. There's a huge issue I have with my verse, and it was the same as Sean's. The backings. The backings on the verse are really fucking bad. And I don't like it. It sounds like the autotune was put to 100, and it sounds very autotune effecty, and I don't know why I didn't notice that. It's like falling apart. It's like it sounds so crackly and like very high affected. Like it it takes it pisses me off, and I don't know if it's a big enough issue to bump down based off of that, but It pisses me off at least. Was on the floor day after day ripping. Like fly. It just doesn't sound right. It sounds horrible. And again, like nothing special on the outro hook or anything. Like I should have told him to do backings on it or something. Or like I should have did something special with the outro. I don't know. I just kind of didn't. But anyways, that is Ken Kaneki, My Eyes with Yazi, my cousin. So I don't think it's good enough to put in A because of mixed issue with the hook and the backings were really bad on both verses. But I think that the rapping and at least like the performance on the hook kind of made it catchy enough and was good enough to put it in B tier. So I'm putting it in B tier. Next up is a song that was supposed to be an original, and then me and Lucky Sir were like, you know what? Let's do a nerdcore track. And then after a while, I recorded the hook and everything, and it sounded really bad. And I vaulted the track. I remember a few months later, I was on call with Expulsion, one of my best friends, and I was just showing him some unreleased tracks, and he heard this and he's like, "Yo, this is really good. Like, you should fix up the hook and actually drop it. Like, this is like your best work." And I'm like, "You really think so? Like, you think it's your best work? Like, you think it's my best work?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Well, you're very enthusiastic about it, so you know what? I'll do that." I did it, and I still couldn't figure out how to do the hook right. So I said, "Fuck it." I called up the homie Blackout, and he definitely cooked. He did his shit on it. If it wasn't for Expulsion, you would have never had this. So there's one. Okay, there's two issues with this song as a whole. One of them was on my verse, and that was the mixing. The frequencies are too high. Again, same issue with Kaneki, same issue with a bunch of my songs last year. One of my best, in my opinion. All right, now that the issue has come up, Lucky Sir, a really good friend of mine, I fuck with Lucky Sir heavy. Um, and we have a few songs that have never come out, and this was gonna be another one of them. Funny enough, again thanks to Expulsion. So I don't know why it's a running theme. Whenever I get Lucky Sir on a song, it never comes out. But I think that he did really good on this. I loved his voice on it, and it was a good verse. But the only issue is the same issue I had with Lunaris is it was off topic kinda, because the song was about basically him talking to Sasuke, saying that I will bring you back and everything because that was his main goal for the longest of Naruto's running. So Lucky Sir did it more on the standpoint of I'm alone and everything because the Nine Tails, and I just wanted to be loved and have a home and everything. And I'm like, okay, great, that's awesome, but off topic. And I don't know why I didn't say anything or anything. I don't know. Keep on wondering why. So yeah, I think it was really good. And shout out to Blackout. Blackout went dummy stupid because he did something different on the final hook, and I didn't have to ask him, didn't have to tell him. I didn't even think about it. And he did a different delivery on the outro, and it was so good. So good. But anyways, so that was my Naruto Kid Naruto song "Soon Find You" with Blackout and Lucky Sir. I am putting Kid Naruto in S because I really like the hook. I liked Lucky Sir's voice, and I really liked my verse and my performance on it. My only issue being the mix on my verse specifically. So I don't think that's enough to knock it down from, knock it down a whole tier. So I put an S. I think it's one of the best songs I've made this year. Arguably, probably top three, top five all time Kage songs. Next up, Dredge. I don't know how I feel about this song, so I'm gonna have to re-listen to it because I remember this was also a rushed song, and I just think that I was trying to get back into rapping because I haven't done it in a minute. So Like, I mean, I guess Kaneki, but I'm saying like a rap song, just straight rap. So I don't think I really did too well, but I need to re-listen to it to regather my thoughts.
Man, fuck a third hook. Survivors, I'll just swallow them whole. Wait, did you hear that?
It's just the hook again. This song is so like it's bad. I don't know. I think this song is really bad. Um, I think the hook it was a good idea, and I think it was executed pretty decently. I guess, but I just feel like listening back, it doesn't fit the beat, so it kind of throws it off a bit. The mixing was not that great, and there is a couple syllable count issues. So I don't really know where I want to put it, and it doesn't do anything special either. I don't know. I feel like the lyrics are kind of nice. Hmm. Where should I put Dredge? I think C tier because I don't think it's on par with Zenitsu and Kaneki. So I'm gonna put it in C, but I think it is better than Desert Queen. Next up is my Erased song. I recently had rewatched the anime and I needed to do a song for it because it fits my Juice World style that I had going for a while. So I made a song for the show, and I think it's one of my best. I really like it. There's only one small issue that I have with it.
But to be honest, I do it again.
It's right there. It's right there, bro. The song was so perfect, and I fucked it up over a syllable count issue. Every time I hear it, it pisses me off. So, but to be honest, it was like, cause it, like, let me.
Yeah, for a thing you say, tears of shade.
It's like, like it fucked up the flow and everything. Oh, I think it's a great song. I love it. It's one of my best. Um, One syllable count issue, but I think overall not like an overwhelming mixing problem or an overwhelming consistent issue with anything. Like nothing that just makes it like that one part be unlistenable or anything. I think it was just good all across the board, and I think that it's S. It's S tier. Next up is a song that I genuinely don't know what the issue is. Like, cause I've heard from lots of different people that the hook is good, the verse was kind of eh, and then I've heard from a lot of other people that like the hook is really eh, but the verses are really good. So like I don't know what really to how to feel about it, cuz I'm hearing different things from everybody. So I don't like I genuinely don't know what the issue is with this song, but I know there's one there. This was also another song in a day. I remember I was on call with Kalo Rap Roasted and maybe a couple other people, and we were in the middle of like no, we were in the middle of D&D, and I remember I was just kind of bored waiting for my turn a bunch, so I freestyled the hook, and I was like, "Yo, like Mike, do you want to be on it?" And I finally, I was able to convince him to be on it, and then I did the rest of the shit for it that day.
To see me win.
Am I wrong to say that I got carried? Like, I don't know if it's because I think really poorly of myself, and I also just really, really always put roasted on a pedestal. I don't know if it's maybe because of that, but like his verse just like was so good, and mine was like okay, you know. I don't know. I don't know, cause like I also don't want too many S tiers, if that makes sense. Like I've already had three. I'm gonna move Falling Deep to A. Cause now that I rethink about it, half of the song was kind of quiet on the mix, and that happened to be my entire part. So A part of me wants to put it in A because I feel like the hook was not that great, but a lot of people admire it, and I think that it wasn't my worst. And I personally think that, Mike kind of saved it from being an A tier hook wise. So next up is the one song I did on Villainous, Zetsu. This was one of those songs that I was supposed to do with Yazi, and then he decided not to. And this was a horrible experiment because I wanted to prove that you can do aggressive on a Juice WRLD beat, and I don't think this was the right Juice WRLD beat to do that on. So it it didn't come out that good, and I know it could have been better, but I just like, I don't know. This wasn't that good, and mix wise was kind of pretty bad too. It had so much potential. Like if I just redid the delivery and mixed it better, I think it could have been a good song. And Lost Stage has a huge ass issue with delivery, and it pains me because his voice is so fucking good. Like if he actually like took time to write something, record it like not super mumbly, and had a decent mix on it, he would blow the fuck up. The hook delivery was horrible. The verse was okay, but mix wise was not great. And Lost Sage was bad. So the only somewhat good thing was my verse, and it was not even good. I I don't like it. Shonen villain rap. Kage and Yazi. This is one of the ones that I actually was able to get him to finish, and we actually drop, and it wasn't good. This song, I don't know why at the time I thought it was okay, and I was like, okay, I know it's not the best, but I think it's like a decent song. I think some people would like it. Let's drop it. No offense to Yazi, but this verse was so and had some corny lines as well as just wasn't talking about much. The hook is okay. My verse I think is really good, but the mix hurts it. So the best part about it kind of gets hurt. So I don't like the song, but I'm going to take a quick re-listen and hopefully my opinion changes.
I started up lonely. Take a girl, now she taking baloney. You asked for a back, you a phony.
Like, I'm taking your girl. Hold up, what was it? Hold up.
Girl, now she taking baloney.
Take your girl, now she taking baloney. I didn't even spell that shit right either, by the way. She taking baloney? That's such a weird line. I don't know. He's just not talking about anything. Like, I don't know.
Take it out. Now we vomit. We folding you up like an omelet.
I didn't even spell omelet right. What was I cooking? I think that my verse was really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, you still saying something? Don't know this fake and shut him up.
The beat cuts I did were pretty nice too.
Fuck that, say he my brother, we asked to Russell, we don't crop the picture. They hate but beat me like a shiki. Easy ass really just making me bigger, yeah.
Like, look at mine. Like, every single line mentioned a villain. Like, I'm not saying it had to be like that, but I don't even think he might have mentioned one maybe. You get what the problem is? Like, I think this is just a worse version of Dredge. So, I'm putting it in C tier. I think that it belongs in C tier in between those two because the hook is okay, nothing great. I think my verse, lyric wise and delivery wise, was really great. Yazi's verse wasn't really good, and the mixing wasn't really good. So there was a lot of issues with it. But I still think it did better than Desert Queen and Mastermind. So, oh wait, no, Pull the Strings. So I think that it's a mid C. Next up, we have Sukuna with, funny enough, Negative. My best friend. I remember sitting there with Negative finishing up writing for it on both sides and recording, and it was, I don't know, it felt more like a chore than it did like our other songs where it was genuinely fun. And the mixing for this song should have came out 2 months prior, and all of that was the mixing. I have like four different mixes for it, and each one took forever, and they all were bad. Mixing is my biggest issue with this song. Yeah, bro, Negative's probably gonna hate me for saying this, but I still don't like his part on the hook. Like, I I even told him like, you better count your days. Like, hold on, let me go to it. Let me go to
Can't
it.
even hold a candle. Yeah. Set him ablaze, lighten him up, send him on his way.
Better count your days, know your place. Like, it just sounded so like, I don't know. I got this kunai. It might hit you in your eye type lyric. Like, I don't know. Just I didn't fuck with it like that. But everything else, other than those like two lines right there, was good. I think this is a good song. Mix, I still have a slight issue with. Um, I think it's a really good song, and I would still argue it's my best track. So putting that in S tier. Next up is Gara. And what's funny is this verse and hook of mine is a year old, or like slightly under a year old at release, because here's what happened, and I'm gonna full blown warn you right now. Don't get Expulsion for a feature. You can get him for a beat, get him for a mix, he's great. Get him for a feature, you'll be lucky to get it within 2 years. Lucky. Like, because I really wanted to have this song with just me and Expulsion, but after 6 months, I was like, fuck it. And I was like, all right, I've already waited 6 months. I'm kicking you off the song, and I'm just going to do an open verse for it. Fuck it. So we had an open verse for it, and we had two winners because I couldn't decide between the two. So we had two winners. We had Karma Chorus and Candy Bard. And I'm not a huge fan of this song, but I've surprisingly from a couple people have heard that this is one of their favorites. So I'm very concerned because I don't know if it's just an ish me, but I'm not a huge fan of the song. But anyways, let's play it. I will say I like the delivery of it. Like, cause I was born up in case they just went down on my head. Like, I don't know. I think it was like an interesting way to go about it, and I think that I think it was interesting. I think it was like not bad. It's definitely not bad. It's just I'm just not a huge fan of it. I think that going aggressive was the play. Like, you only see all the dark nights is kind of much though. Like, especially because it was like it went from this into this and it. Like, I think it was way too aggressive. So I should have toned it down a bit, and I think that would have helped the song out a lot. Karma was hard as fuck to mix, especially because his mic just sounded weird. So I tried. All right, don't judge me too hard. What was this cap cut ass ending? Like cap cut TikTok anime edit kind of thing, if you know what I'm talking about.
Apologies, but they don't sound sincere.
Hey, don't bully me like that. Worse than a K3 mic is crazy. And that saying something is even crazier. I think Candy and Karma did okay. Like, nothing that was like super crazy or anything like carried or anything. Like, they did good. Like, you know, they were okay. I think I did okay. The song overall is just okay. I put it in low B. Next up, after how long of a break? I think it was like 3 or 4 months. About 3-ish months around there of not dropping music because I was going through a lot, and this kind of, this song kind of helped explain what I was kind of going through. Okay, after re-listening to it, I will say there are a bunch of syllable count issues and one flow issue with the beginning verse, but I think the hook is pretty nice, and I think that's what kind of carries it. Um, I I'm putting the song at B tier, and I put it above Gara. I think it's better than Gara for listenability, and I wouldn't say it's better than Kaneki, or if so, probably matched. Anyways, last up on the list wasn't supposed to be, but I couldn't get the song out in time, so Todoroki.
Cause I'm too busy trying to find peace.
Like, if it was just the hook, it would be S tier for me. Like, I think that's my best hook.
Maybe I'm the one that needs a hero this time.
Mm, I don't really know where I want to put it because it's nothing special. I think it's one of my best hooks. And I think that Lavari did good. A couple people had some issues with like offbeat, but I don't hear that per se, so I don't necessarily have an issue with Lavari's verse. Splat, there was a couple syllable count issues, and it's not like the song is bad. It's just it's nothing special. I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it's above Zenitsu, but it's not above Falling Deep. So there you go. My 15 songs that I did in 2024. This is my scoring, and again, for the people on YouTube, I will put a link to the tier list below, so that you guys can do your own tier list and keep it to yourself or share it to me. Put it in the server. Do whatever you want to. I would love to see what you guys would tier my music, especially because that can help me out for future references and future songs. I can try and do things more accustomed to the majority of the viewers liking and everything. So, it helps us both out.